Let me start with you, Shama Mohammed, because the opposition complains you don't get enough time on TV. So we'll start with the opposition, and that question is to you. The BJP is very clear. This is about Mr. Modi. They want a hat trick for Prime Minister Modi. Modi ki guarantee ab ki baar 400 par. How do you respond to that question?
Rajdeep, this election is about democracy. Is there in this country or not? According to us, there is the death of democracy as of now, and we are telling people that this might even be your last election, because it is what is happening right now in this country is very dangerous. Now let us understand, very important thing is the electoral bonds, in which the Supreme Court said it is unconstitutional, and it is the biggest scam of independent India. Now, what has happened after that? I mean, I haven't seen many debates or discussions on channels about it. That should be the debate of the decade. I mean, look at that. Getting money from outside of this country as much as you want, and you can remain anonymous. And we have seen how various acts, RBI Act, Corporate Act, Income Tax Act, FCRA, all have been changed to pass this bill, and how the Election Commission at that point, as well as the RBI governor, was against passing this. But we don't see any consequences after that. You know, this is a major scam, and you know how Mr. Modi came to power. Na khaunga, na khane dunga. And there was an anti-corruption movement at that point of time. But what happened? Where was the corruption? There was nothing of that sort, but it was a movement. So there is a huge worry. Now today I just saw the...
Ma'am, I'm going to ask everyone to keep their... No, ma'am, I'm going to ask everyone to keep their intervention short, because there are 6 of you. I also want to tell you that I don't know what other channels do, but it was my top story, and I focused on electoral bonds right from the moment that story happened. But please go on very quickly. I have 30 seconds more. I asked you a question. Is 2024 Modi versus who? Or is it, as you're saying, electoral bonds that is the big issue?
No, the issue is in 2024 is unemployment. The issue is price rise. The issue is death of democracy. These are the issues. Why should it be Modi versus the rest? It is not that. This country is a democracy. There are the India Alliance, which is fighting against the NDA. And that's how elections have been fought for years in this country. There is the Congress party before, as well as the BJP. So there are these. Why should it be? Who is doing this, Modi versus the rest? I fail to understand. It is the media hype again. It is not us. It is the media which is hyping this thing about Modi versus rest. I want to ask one last thing. Why is it that when he's campaigning, he's not talking about what he has done in the last 10 years or last 5 years? He goes on criticizing the India Alliance. But why not talk about what you have done?
Okay.
What you have done in the last 5 years, but never talks about it.
Okay, you made your point, ma'am. You made your point.
Talk about what you have done. I want to know.
Yeah, I'm going to put a timer on each of you, so that each of you gets equal time. We are now into elections. Tuin Sinha. Shama Mohammed makes the point that this Modi versus who is simply media hype. In my producer's first question, so my producer has gone and hyped up the question Modi versus who. He's fallen for the BJP's trap, is what she says. Election, this is a parliamentary democracy. We elect 543 MPs starting April 19th. We're not voting for one person. The BJP wants to make India into a presidential style system.
Good evening, Rajdeep. Rajdeep, we are at the cusp of entering into what will truly be one of the most historic elections in India. An election which will throw up one of the biggest mandates in the last several decades. And there is absolutely no competition to Modi. On the one hand, is a party which talks about Viksit Bharat. On the other hand, you have an alliance which is constantly working towards balkanization of Bharat, whether it is through its repeated attacks on Sanatan Dharma or through caste divisions which they are trying to foment every now and then. On the one hand, you have a party which has a clear economic vision for the next 20 years. And on the other hand, you have a party or an alliance which does not have a vision for the next 20 hours. On the one hand, you have a party which believes in fulfilling its election promises. And on the other hand, you have an alliance whose only objective of coming to power is to perpetrate many scams to lose the country. So there is absolutely no competition. Since the Congress is absolutely ignorant about what has happened in the last 10 years, let me quickly elucidate them. Let me quickly enlighten them. 25 crore people have been brought out of poverty line. Unemployment data, as per a very comprehensive SBI report, says that the unemployment rate is at its lowest at 3.2%. Through DPI, Digital Public Infrastructure, 3 lakh crore worth of money has been put directly in the hands of Labhartis. 13 crore people have been given tap water connections. Jan Dhan, there have been 50 crore plus accounts of Jan Dhan accounts. And obviously the national highway stretch has gone up from 91,000
Can I just stop you for a moment to ask you this? First of all, I must fact check you on unemployment, because unemployment numbers, even though you claim, there are various other numbers which say unemployment is much higher in the NDA years than it was in UPA, but we can dispute that. But my limited point to you, are you going, just a minute, sir, are you going into the 2024 elections on a positive agenda where you're saying you will provide a path to Viksit Bharat? Or is your primary agenda to say, please don't vote for the opposition because they don't have a leader, according to you, comparable to Prime Minister Modi? Or is it both?
If you look at Prime Minister Modi's rallies over the last month and a half, Viksit Bharat is the only theme going forward. It is space economy, it is solar energy, solar energy, solar panels over rooftops. So I think everything that we are talking about, infrastructure creation, and 11 lakh crore of capex expenditure simply cannot be jobless growth. So there could be different figures of unemployment, but I think, common sense would tell you that 11 lakh crore of capex expenditure can never be jobless growth. If you look at ESIC figures, there has been a constant increase
you made your
month.
point.
The last data